On this week's show, we follow Prince Albert II on an official trip to Le Touquet. Then we head to Milan for the Universal Expo. And we end with music at the Grimaldi Forum's 15th anniversary party. We start with the inauguration of the Princes of Monaco promenade in the town of Le Touquet that took place in the presence of Prince Albert II. For the special occasion, the town was sporting the colours of Monaco to pay tribute to the grandparents and father of the sovereign prince. They used to regularly spend their holidays in this seaside town of Pas-de-Calais, as you can see in these rare photos of Prince Rainier and his parents, and here with his sister.
Cette digue promenade qui a été créée en 1921 n'avait pas de nom, assez bizarrement d'ailleurs.
Strangely enough, this promenade, which was created in 1921, didn't have a name, and we remembered that the Princes of Monaco used to come to the resort regularly in the 20s, and they were here when this promenade was inaugurated. So that's where the idea of calling it the Princes of Monaco Promenade came from. This tribute is obviously a nod to the past, but it also illustrates our desire to build strong relationships with Monaco in several areas in the future, such as the protection of the environment, the protection of the seas and mobility for handicapped children, including for autistic children. This is something that Princess Charline fights for and that we fight for here too at Le Touquet Paris Plage. We also want to help develop the tourist trade in both our towns, so as you see there are many things to work on in the future.
De nos deux destinations, donc vous voyez de nombreuses pistes aussi fructueuses pour l'avenir.
During his visit, Prince Albert II was also able to discover an exhibition of black and white photos dedicated to his mother, Princess Grace. 100 shots that have never been seen before make up this exhibition that looks back on Grace Kelly's film career. It is entitled The Angel from America. Time to head to Milan now to talk about an initiative at the Universal Expo. Staff and volunteers of the Monegasque Red Cross travelled to the city for the World First Aid Day. They were able to visit the expo, including the Monegasque Pavilion.
La journée d'aujourd'hui est un peu particulière parce que c'est des gens locaux.
Today it's a bit special because it's local people. By that I mean it's our staff and our volunteers who help us with our local missions and who are about to discover something international. That's our second mission. It's the IHS, everything we do internationally. It was an idea of one of the volunteers during the General Assembly when he put up his hand and said, "You talk to us a lot about Lumbilla, but what is Lumbilla? Can we come and see it?" We all looked at each other and the executive committee and our president said that it was a really good idea. We carried the idea through, and today there are 200 volunteers sporting the Red Cross logo on their backs. Lumbilla, that's where the Monegasque Pavilion will have a second life. After the event, it will be shipped to Burkina Faso to become, amongst other things, a first aid training centre. In the meantime, you can discover the Milan Universal Expo until the 31st of October. It was time to go back to school for the dancers of the Princess Grace Academy when they recently discovered their new schedules. Classical and contemporary dancing as well as music lessons are all on the agenda. This season promises to be full of events for the young dancers, including a collaboration with the Monte Carlo Ballet and the traditional annual gala. "15 years ago, the Grimaldi Forum opened its doors and hosted its first big events, from international conferences to renowned cultural exhibitions. To celebrate this event, the Grimaldi Forum sought inspiration from the electronic music concerts they were already organising 10 years ago. Therefore, it was a natural move to invite one of the big DJs of those years, one of the founders of the French touch, Etienne de Crécy, as well as two many DJs and Italian duo Marvin and Guy. The three DJs played one after the other in the Espace Ravel, which up until very recently was home to the Chagall to Malevich exhibition. Music will be at the top of the bill at the Grimaldi Forum until the end of the year with, amongst other things, the musical Annie and a special djembe concert. Time to go. See you next week.